If you're ready to amplify your communication, stay tuned, because we're going to talk about how speaking like a leader involves not only the words that you choose, but the way that you convey them and the actions that you use to follow them up. Our first tip on how to speak like a leader is to set a good example. Leaders lead by actions, not just words. When you demonstrate the behavior that you expect from others, you create a standard of excellence that naturally extends to your speech. So as leaders, our words can carry weight, but I think our actions speak even louder. So for example, if you're saying, I want you to be on time for work, but you're not on time yourself, I think what that shows is that your expectation isn't that you expect everybody to be on time, because you're not embodying that yourself. If you talk about dedication and hard work, demonstrate this in your actions and how you approach your work every day. And don't forget to do what you say you're going to do. Also remember, this extends to when you make a mistake. Taking ownership over that mistake and owning up for that mistake is really important, because people will definitely notice if you try and smooth it over and act like nothing happened. I think that's another example of doing what you say you're going to do. I think that sets the tone by not hiding and being honest and upfront. Number 2 is being consistent. Consistency is a key in leadership. Whether it's your decisions, your communication style, or the way you handle challenges, consistency builds trust. Your team should know what to expect, and your speech should reflect that reliability. This is really important when dealing with individuals. You don't want to be perceived as favouring somebody over somebody else. You want to treat everybody with the same respect and care to build trust and foster a sense of reliability among the team. Next up is always think before you act or speak. Good leaders are generally known for their thoughtful decision making. Take a moment to consider the impact of your words. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're hesitating. It just means that you're being considerate to ensure that your speech aligns with your intention and has a positive impact on the team. Our words and actions have a very long-lasting impact, and considering the consequences beforehand ensures that we make informed and reasonable choices. This also extends to decision making. You don't always have to have the right answer on the spot. I think another sign of leadership is having the ability to step back and say, that's a good question, I'm going to get back to you on that. And actually coming back to closing that loop is really important. And just remember that you don't always have to have the right answer. Number 4 is communication. This won't be a big surprise. Effective communication is at the heart of leadership. Clearly express your ideas, your vision, and your expectations. Being concise, articulate, and tailoring your communication to your audience. How you speak to some executives is probably going to be quite different to how you speak to your frontline team. Leaders who communicate well foster a sense of transparency and understanding with the team. Number 5 is listening. I think listening can often be overlooked, but it is really crucial, and I think really shows people respect if you can listen well. I also find that I pick up an awful lot from listening to individuals rather than speaking. Often the individuals themselves have most of the information and the answers that you need as a leader to help you direct decisions. I think it's important to show genuine interest in your team, their perspectives, and incorporate their input into your decision making. Leadership isn't just about talking. Actively listening to the team, valuing their perspectives and their input creates a culture where everybody feels heard and understood, and hopefully it creates this innovative, really accepting environment for the whole team. Number 6 is giving credit. Leadership is definitely a team effort, and great leaders always give the credit to the individuals who deserve it. Great leaders acknowledge this by giving credit where it's due. When successes happen, be sure to acknowledge those that inputted into those, and celebrate the contribution of every member of the team, not just the ones that are usually seen as the big players, but the fact that it takes the whole team to get the success across the line. This not only boosts morale, but also reinforces a really positive and collaborative culture. Leaders Leadership is definitely not about personal glory. It's about recognizing and appreciating the efforts of the team, because really what you're there for is to lead the team, encourage them, energize them, and keep them on the right track. You're not actually doing that work that the team is doing, so it's really important that you're acknowledging their own contributions and not forgetting to say thank you. Number 7 is boundaries. Setting professional boundaries is really essential. This helps maintain respect and authority. So this is about not just space, as in professional boundaries, but also the relationships that you develop with the team. It is really important that you've got that professional boundary in place. Otherwise, it makes it really difficult to make difficult decisions later up the track if you've got personal relationships dotted all over the place, and then you have to make a tough call that impacts those individuals. Number 8 is about doing nothing. Believe it or not, doing nothing is sometimes absolutely the best option. Leaders understand the power of restraint and silence. If a situation doesn't warrant immediate action, or if emotions are running really high, a good leader will identify this and will choose to observe, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than hastily. Recognize when it's appropriate to step back and let the team take charge, or take the time that you need to make the most accurate decision. Number 9 is setting values. Setting values is a bit of a cornerstone of leadership. I think it's good to have clearly identified the values that guide your decisions and actions. So setting values can be about agreeing with the team that, hey, this is how we all work together. We all agree that we're operating with trust, respect, and honesty, and it makes it easier later on if you need to correct behaviour. It's easier to say, hey, what you're doing or what you're saying actually doesn't align with what we agreed were our core values. It makes it a lot easier to steer behaviour in a direction that you know it needs to go, and can mean that you can do that a lot gentler and more clearly than what you could if you didn't already have those values in place. Number 10 is remembering the non-verbal cues. This is a pretty important part of communication. Your body language, your facial expressions, and gestures convey a meaning that go beyond your words. Be really mindful of those cues, because if you're standing there with your arms crossed in front of everybody and you're saying, I so appreciate what you guys did, nobody is going to believe that. You have to express yourself in a way that you know shows that you're being open and honest. Consider that communication goes beyond words, and that non-verbal cues play a significant role. It can be helpful to think about this and just reflect on it during the day as you observe others and how they communicate, and what maybe their body language is telling you that their words aren't. That can be quite a good exercise to be doing. That's something that I like to incorporate in my leadership style without having to think about it, just knowing that I am observing how somebody is talking and what they might not be saying by what their body language is telling me. Number 11 is your tone. Good leaders speak with assurance, projecting that confidence with how they speak and what they say with their tone. Confidence is actually quite contagious. Even when faced with challenges, if you lead with a confident tone and stance, this can reassure your team and instill trust in your leadership. Whether you're a seasoned leader or aspiring to be a leader, I think these 11 tips can really help in how you want to present yourself and how you want to speak like a confident and assertive leader. I've been in leadership for over 17 years and have gone from leading 2 people to leading a team of over 300, and all of these 11 tips are part of how I lead and how I think it helps me speak more like a leader. If you've liked today's video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on how to be a confident leader.